friends, welcome back to Food Prep Guide and welcome back to the Pantry Challenge. We are doing it today, the cream of soup mix. I was going to wait till after the Pantry Challenge was over, but I'm almost out and I need some and I just can't wait any longer. And I was thinking about it, it is such a pantry staple, it makes sense to include it in a Pantry Challenge like this. Now, in case you have missed our past videos where I mentioned that this video is coming, this is a master mix that you can use to make any of your cream of soups. Cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, cream of celery. You could do cream of cheddar, you could do cream of broccoli. You make a base mix and then you mix in chicken bouillon for cream of chicken, diced dehydrated mushrooms for your mushroom sauce, and shredded dehydrated celery for your cream of celery. So we are making the base master mix today. To start, we are going to need 2 cups of milk powder. Now this milk powder is dried whole milk. You don't want to use your instant non-fat milk because it just doesn't give you enough of that creaminess that we need for our cream of soup mix. So 2 cups of that. As you can see, it wasn't a super precise measurement. Doesn't have to be exact. 3/4 cups of, now we have options here. This is our thickening agent. If you are gluten-free, I would recommend arrowroot powder. I have made this with both arrowroot and flour. The results are still fine, but with arrowroot powder, you can't expect that really thick consistency that comes with like the condensed cream of soup. It just doesn't get as thick. The other option is cornstarch. So cornstarch, arrowroot, or flour. In today's mixture, I'm going to use flour. So I'm going to do 3/4 cup of flour. 3. Next is our bouillon powder. So even though this is going to be made for cream of mushroom and cream of celery, it does still use a chicken powder. Now instead of bouillon powder, because of the ingredients, I prefer to use Orrington Farms chicken broth base. The ingredients are a lot cleaner. Give it a look. I will link it down in the description box below. We need 1/4 cup of that. I'm going to do a heaping 1/4 cup. Next is our seasonings. We need a tablespoon of salt. Okay, tablespoon of salt. Next, spices. Now you can customize this according to what you like, but for my base recipe that I've been doing for years, I do a teaspoon of garlic powder and a teaspoon of onion powder. So, teaspoon of onion, teaspoon of garlic, and last but not least, I always add parsley. About a tablespoon of crushed parsley. This is one of the primary reasons I grow parsley, because homegrown parsley is just so much stronger and more potent than what you get at the store, and it really makes this soup mix really good. Okay, now we're gonna whisk that. I don't have my whisk either. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna whisk all that together really good and make sure I'm not missing anything. Nope, we're good. Okay. This is my old jar, and I want the newest to be on top, or excuse me, the newest to be on bottom, oldest on top. So I'm just going to pour this out, and we'll pour it back on top in just a minute. I store this in a quart jar. Okay. There we go. This is our cream of soup powder that you can use as a master mix for all of your can of cream of soups. Now let's see just how easy it is to cook one of these up. So to make a can of cream of soup, you're going to start by melting 2 tablespoons of butter. I've got my pot set to low-medium heat. Going to wait till that butter melts, and then we will add our mixture. Now that our butter is melted, we are going to add 1/3 cup of our master mix. Whisk that around into the melted butter. We're going to let this sit on that heat for just about a minute, not long. It just creates this crumbly texture. Next, we're going to add cold water. We don't need to add milk because our master mix has milk powder. So we're going to add 1 1/4 cup of cold water. Now we're just going to whisk that around and we're going to let it come up to a boil. Let it cook at a boil for just about 2 or 3 minutes. Then we're going to lower it down and cook it for another 5-ish minutes until it starts getting nice and thick. I'll turn the heat up a bit on this. And let that come up to a boil. Okay, we're at a boil. I'm going to lower it just a tad, not much, and continue to let it very lightly boil, just a little bit over a simmer, until it reaches a thicker consistency. It can take anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes. You don't have to stir constantly, but you do want to stir it pretty frequently. So like I said, this was our base mix. I'm going to be using a can of cream of chicken in tonight's recipe, so I'm going to go ahead and add 1 more heaping teaspoon of the chicken broth powder. That's what's going to give it that extra chickeny taste for cream of chicken. At this stage, if you were making cream of mushroom, you would put in about a tablespoon of dehydrated chopped mushrooms. For cream of celery, you would do about a tablespoon of dehydrated chopped or sliced celery. Now we just wait and let it thicken. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes and I'm happy with the consistency that it is. Don't think you can really tell the consistency on camera, but it does thicken up as it cools. So at this point, I like to set it off the heat and just let it rest for 3 to 4 minutes just to let it thicken up just a tad bit more. But if you're in a pinch, if you're in a hurry, you can toss this straight into your dish at this point. I'm going to be using this later on tonight, so I'm going to let it cool for a little bit, pour it in this jar and stick it in the fridge. It'll get even thicker. If you have time for that, you could do that if you need a really thick sauce for whatever recipe you're using. But I'm going to let this cool off and we'll bring you back when we're filling up our jar so you can see how the finished product looks. Our cream of soup has been resting for about 3 minutes, so now I'm going to pour it into this jar, and I hope you can kind of see the consistency of how thick it is as I pour it into the jar. It's nice and thick, and I'm going to store this in the fridge for tonight, and it's going to get even thicker. Okay, this is the equivalent of a condensed cream of chicken soup. Think about how much space you can save replacing all those cans with one master mix. And you get to choose the ingredients. All ingredients you can pronounce. Hope y'all enjoy. Bye.